Hello and welcome to Talk from Superheroes. Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Ivemy.
And I'm Diana McCullum.
And you're listening to Talk from Superheroes, where every week we discuss a piece of heroic television or film. And this week on the podcast, we are talking about The Long Walk.
The Long Walk, based on the Stephen King book.
Yeah.
And that's all I know. Actually, I read the Wikipedia, so I actually know a lot more than that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, and also we're doing this because we'll also be doing other Stephen King as well. We will be doing next week the Running Man, which is also a Stephen King novel. If you give Stephen King a speed and mode of transportation, he will write a book about it.
Or he'll color a distance, like a Green Mile.
Ah, a Green Mile.
You can do a long walk. You can do a Running Man. You can do a Green Mile.
A Maximum Overdrive.
Oh, you can do a Maximum
if you do a vehicle, like any type of speed or anything. The Fog Jogger, the Speed Walker,
the Dreamcatcher.
The Dreamcatcher.
Dreamcatcher's a real one.
Yeah,
didn't make that one up.
Yeah, that's a real one. Yeah. The Tumble for Eternity. Whatever you give him, Heelys from Hell. You give him a mode of transportation.
Are all
Cerberus'
of these real?
Skateboard, like all of it.
Now you're making I don't know enough about Stephen King to know which ones are fake.
That's what's wild about this.
I don't like it.
Is that all of this could be Stephen King. Absolutely.
Who's the guy with the gun in the Dark Tower? Dark Tower?
Dark Tower's him,
Okay.
yeah.
That's not a speed or anything, but I was like, it feels like it has the right vibes.
Yeah, there's something about that. The vibes are the same also. But he does The Long Walk and The Running Man. He's Stephen King.
He's Stephen King. So yes, the original Running Man we'll be doing next week, and then the week after that, I believe we are doing the new Glenn Powell Running Man.
I believe so.
We believe so. The schedule's a little weird right now.
And we're traveling, so it makes it all a little bit strange. But
there'll be an episode.
There'll be a speed and a dude. I'll tell you that in any given scenario.
There won't be any women.
No.
It's not the running lady.
It's not. It's a speed and a dude. And it's The Long Walk on this one, based on the Stephen King novel that he wrote under his pseudonym at the time. This is a relatively new movie. This came out last month-ish, was it?
On streaming? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just recently on streaming and like 2 or 3 months ago in theaters.
So since this is not the newest, sometimes we cover things the weekend they come out, but it's new enough we're going to give you a spoiler-free review for this one in case you're on the fence about seeing it, not sure if it's worth your time, or just want a taste of the episode. We'll give you a spoiler-free review. Then once you hear the theme music, we'll be in the spoiler-filled section. So let's start with a spoiler-free review for The Long Walk. The usual simple question. Diana, did you like it?
I did like it. It's a very enthusiastic high like. It's not a love, but I really, really enjoyed this movie. I will just admit off the top, the second I saw the trailer, I was very intrigued and knew this would be a movie I liked. And I'm not even sure why and what about it I was like so positive I would like about it. But I really just like that it's like just a simple, straightforward story. You know exactly what you're getting, and that's what you get. But it's like great performances. These characters are really fleshed out. They feel like full. Every single one of them feels like a fully formed person who like didn't just like appear at the beginning of The Long Walk. They all had lives before this. Really great performances. I love the relationships. Great stakes. Really like exciting and intense. I would say I think the world building is not nearly as good as the character building. I don't really have a sense of like what's going on outside the Long Walk, even though there's like a monologue about why the Long Walk happens and what it does for the economy, I guess. But outside of that, it doesn't feel as fleshed out as I think the characters are, which I would like a little bit more. And also some of the cinematography made me nauseous in a way that I don't think was purposeful. But other than that, it's like, yeah, it's a lovely story about friendship, but it's also wildly violent and terrible, but in a way that's purposeful. It's both easy and hard to watch, and I think it's purposely both those things. So I really, really enjoyed it. I had a great time on The Long Walk. I loved being able to sit and watch this movie and be like, yes, I've been tired, but not right now. You go, boys. That's me, Andrew. Did you like The Long Walk?
I'm on a similar wavelength as you. I think it's really good. It didn't elevate to like great or a love, but it's very good. I think the strength of this and why I do think it's worth watching for anyone who is kind of on the fence. I think that it's definitely worth checking out. It's got some great performances, and I think that is what elevates this. The performances are phenomenal. They really do own these characters, and there's a lot of charm and a lot of personality and a lot injected to into sometimes the writing and depth of the character may not be there. Some twists and turns are a little bit obvious. Some things are kind of predictable, but they play the hell out of it. And it is a simple setup. The premise is as clean. It's a very clean premise, and I really like that. It is a group of young men are walking until only one can remain walking. And that is it. And it just kind of plays out like that. It feels like a play in that regard, where it's very minimalistic in terms of how it executes and plays out this story. And I really enjoy that. I enjoy the minimalism of it. I, at times, actually like how minimal they are with the world building as well, because I feel like that's not necessarily the point of this. The point of this is a character piece. There'll be some things that I'll like to nitpick and get in with you, where I don't mind some of the world building missing. They're not clear as to what that war was, why the world got like this. And I'm okay with that. But then there's some stuff where I'm meaning is missing, to be what does it mean to be under tyranny? And they're well, tyranny terrorizes the tyrants. And it's well, you don't have much to say about what it means. So that's where it kind of loses me, is that it lacks depth and meaning. And but I'm okay with it lacking the world building, and the performances are really strong. And I think visually it looks really good. It sounds great. It's really crisp and clean. Great sound design and really good score as well. So I think it's slow, it's smooth, it's confident. I recommend anyone watch it, but I'm not necessarily going to run to watch it again.
Yeah, I will agree with pretty much everything you said. Yeah, I especially latched on to, I was going to say the same thing, that it felt like it could be a play. If you put a treadmill on a stage, you could do this movie as a play. It's just a road and a bunch of actors.
Yeah.
It would be pretty dark, but you absolutely could. So yeah, I think it really works in that way. And I agree that I'm not sure what it's trying to say. I mean, it's kind of it's still really nice to watch, and you're friendship,
yeah,
love, those are good. We'll get into more of that in the spoiler-filled section. But yeah, I'd also recommend seeing it. Stephen King is so funny because there's no middle ground with Stephen King.
Lay it on me. In what way?
Oh, his movies are either absolute bangers or they're just so terrible.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, there's no that was a fine Stephen King movie. You're either getting Maximum Overdrive or you're getting Shawshank Redemption. There's just there's nothing in the middle. And I think that's so funny about his movies. But it's nice that this was a good one.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you're never going to be quite sure when you pick up a Stephen King movie.
You are never sure what you are about to get from a Stephen King adaptation.
I'll never forget when I saw Dreamcatcher and I was like, wait, what?
Excuse me?
They're pooping out aliens? Please stop. Spoilers for Dreamcatcher if you haven't seen Dreamcatcher.
That was a wild one. Yeah. And I think also that one came out at a time when I was just old enough to understand the value of reputation and credits for people who are involved in a movie, and to be yeah, everyone here every name attached to this is a professional, which means it's going to be good. And then being oh no, what? Huh?
I also remember thinking,
does your work history not mean anything?
Because everyone in that movie is good.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not the movie we're talking about. But
no, we're talking about the long walk today.
We're talking about the long walk. Anyway, so it's
and can it be spoiled?
It can, but you can guess the ending, but not quite the very, very ending.
Even the very, very ending, I actually kind of guessed it at minute 20.
Oh, I didn't guess it.
Yeah, okay. I found this very, and granted, it's a very privileged position for me to be in the year 2024, to be I think the book that Stephen King wrote when he was 16 in the 60s is a little bit predictable. To be he wrote a movie in his teens in the 60s that is made into a movie today that's functional in any way, which is a groundbreaking piece of writing in that regard.
Stephen King is crying right now hearing that you're saying his book is predictable.
But for tropes that have existed for my entire lifetime, there were some things in here where I was like, this is all pretty. Even though, from what I understand, there are also some differences from where the book plays out. I found it fairly predictable, but they're meant to be surprises, so I think it could be spoiled potentially.
I think it could be.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is going to be the spoiler-free section. Before we do get into the spoiler-filled section of the podcast, this will be our last reminder that this weekend from November 6th to 9th, Diane and I were both going to be at HalCon in Halifax, Nova Scotia. If you're in the Halifax area, I believe HalCon is sold out, but if you are at the convention, come by, say hello. We will both be boothing. You can get a copy of Diana's book as well. You goddamn should. And get it signed, get a photo, say hello to us. I'll be moderating the celebrity panels as well. And one thing that there are still some tickets remaining, not many, but there are a few remaining still for a stand-up comedy show. I am headlining on the evening of Friday, November 7th at Good Robot in Halifax. It's myself. I'm bringing along some of my funniest Halifax friends. We have Luba Magnus, Jordan Foisey, and Claire Belford. They've been on CBC, Winnipeg Comedy Festival, and this hour has 22 minutes. Really funny comics. Tickets are available. There will be a link in the show notes. At the time of recording this, there are still a handful of tickets remaining. I won't guarantee that if you're listening to this, there are, but if you want to come, rush to check and see if there are any tickets remaining. Link will be in the show notes or at andrewivamy.com. And we look forward to seeing y'all there.
I'm looking forward to the show because I just get to watch the show. I'll be at the con, though, and I'll be working.
Yeah. You work during the day.
I work during the day. I don't work at night.
No, I work at nights.
Andrew never stops.
Nights.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into the spoiler-filled section. Let's talk more about The Long Walk. All right, we have seen the entirety of The Long Walk. We are in the spoiler-filled section now. And yeah, we both had a very good time.
I had a very good time. Yes, I will. I mean, we were very nice off the top. I will just get out of the way. The thing that made me nauseous was they were such long takes of them walking and talking, and it was all in close-up, and I was just getting so nauseous with like the up and down of their bodies and just following it for so long. And I don't think it was purposeful, but maybe it was part of it. I was just like, I can't watch them because both of them walked with so much body movement.
There was quite a bit of Bob.
I'm like, you can walk without Bob, and maybe not on mile 300, but the amount of Bob I was just finding nauseating halfway through. I'm glad we took a bathroom break, and I was like, thank God, because I actually did feel kind of sick.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah,
It was like a motion sickness being caused by a movie.
Obviously, there's no scenario where that's what the filmmakers intended.
I don't know. It might have been like to make you feel what the guys feel.
I think to make you feel a little off-put is one thing. To need to take a pause break to regather your nausea might be a bridge too far. But I agree with the exhaustion. It is a little bit more bobbing, and it is a camera angle and a consistency that most films are not shot at. So that's also a prolonged kind of frame rate and framing just to sit at and live in. If there's anything even a bit off about it, most movies don't sit for an hour and a half in the same camera angle like this does.
And not even just the same camera angle. Like, they would do such long takes. They would do an entire conversation in just one take. And like, wildly impressive, great acting. I think it's a great choice, but it just meant there was never just like a wide shot cut to in the middle of the conversation or an over the cam or an over someone else's shoulder. It was always just straight down the road.
The shoulders are always moving, so you're not getting an over the shoulder.
There's not a single over the shoulder in this movie to be found.
Yeah.
But it's still very well done. It's just like they're bobbing as they walk, and it didn't work for me.
I get that. And in conjunction, that visually didn't work for you, but also that's like a big part of the charm of this movie. Like we mentioned, it being very playwright style, to be like, it is you're getting moments of actors doing sometimes just a lovely 10-minute scene about friendship that they're coming in, and it has a kineticness and a movement, and they're walking, and there's a flow, and the rhythm of the group changes, and people break out and move forward or back. And it just feels very rich and play-like, and it's very nice to see. And it makes for just really strong scene work.
Yeah. They all really, you could tell, like, a lot of these guys are, like, actors. And it must have been so great to be like, I'm doing a movie, but it's like a play, and I get to, like, act. I'm not doing this 3 lines and then we cut. Like, we're doing the whole fucking scene. And I gotta be tired, and we gotta be fast friends. We're maybe in love, and we're gonna die. Like, this is such rich, great food for actors.
If they allowed people on the side of the road, this is basically just like doing a moving play.
Oh my God.
You know,
I mean,
like,
there are like extras for a lot of it. Like,
but,
we start with 50 guys. So there are extras for quite a while. But yeah, if there were
if it wasn't a closed set, if they're going through towns and stuff, and obviously, they're resetting and doing multiple takes, but in many ways, it feels like a moving play. It feels like a Sleep No More on a highway that, like, depending on where you lived off that highway, you're experiencing a different piece of the theater that you can combine with other people's experiences.
We're doing a crazy Fringe show.
Yeah.
We're going to walk through town. You're going to see who dies and who lives.
Yes. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be a really cool
Now that I
Fringe
think
show.
about it, that is pretty cool.
Yeah. Better than waiting for Godot, walking the long walk. There's just always waiting for Godot at Fringe.
Man.
It's always there.
Oh, is there always at a Fringe?
I find there's always a waiting for Godot.
Oh, okay.
That guy never shows up.
I think of that as more as like an entry level film or theater school kind of a thing than a Fringe.
Yeah.
But we got different experiences. We got different stuff on our Jeeps.
Got different Fringes.
Well, I do want to say let's go to one of the other big positives of this. Performance wise, I think it is. Is it David Johnson? Johnson?
I thought it was Johnson.
Johnson. I'm going to say David Johnson, who plays Pete, is the standout to me. I think he's absolutely fucking incredible, and I don't mean that as any disrespect to any of the other cast. Cooper Hoffman as Ray also does a very good job, as does, I think, everyone. But David Johnson is holy shit good. And I believe we also had a lot of love to give him for Alien Romulus as well.
He was the standout for Alien Romulus as well. So this guy's really, like, taken charge of every movie we've seen him in.
Yeah, and he is working too. I do feel like we're going to see a pretty hot decade, I think, for this man, because it just seems to be consistent scene-stealing hits that he is providing in every regard.
He really is. He's so good in this. This is how you know he's really good. They cast him in this role, even though these characters are supposed to be 16, and he's 32. But they were like, we gotta have him.
Yeah, and he pulls it off.
Does he?
I think so. There's... no, go ahead.
Okay, well, I think this was a bigger point I was going to make, that I think it's funny they're all supposed to be teens, because literally all of them are in their mid-20s. He's the oldest guy of the cast. I checked. He's 32. Literally they're all in their mid-20s, which always has to happen. But then they did the silly thing of having one actual teen who's the first kid who dies. And I think that's a mistake, because then it's like, that's what teens look like. They don't look like these guys. David Johnson's fucking jacked as shit in this. It's not what 16-year-olds look like.
Yeah.
But that's just my little goof of, like, don't have one actual 16-year-old in this, guys.
I get now. They did at least play into the fact they never acknowledge what their ages all are. Like, I think in the book they might, but in this one it's just like they're young men to different degrees. And I think they say you have to be a minimum of 18. And the youngest one who dies first, they do make the joke to be like, if you're a day over 16, I'll eat my hat. You fucking lied on the forms.
They did change that, because the books, they're 16.
Yeah,
You have to be.
So the one youngest dude, they joke that he's not only the youngest, but lied about being older than he is to even get in. So I think they play into that. And his character also has had the roughest life as well. So it's like, fuck it, he's 10 years older. He's like, I've had
facial surgeries.
I've had facial surgeries. I've slept in fields and in doorways your ways, I've gone hungry. And whereas Ray, our other guy, is like, he's had a tough life in the sense that like his father was an insurgent who was murdered by the tyrannical government, but he's lived in a home with a caring mother and been fed, cared for, reading books most of his life. So you can have a kind of visible age discrepancy between these two actors and have them play similar ages by that discrepancy in life experience as well. I think it works better than, as we mentioned the other week in the Midsummer episode, where it's like, hey, we've all had the same life experience and we're in college, right? And it's like one of them 16 years older. So I think it works a bit better here. And as well, David Johnson, British and a phenomenal English accent.
Oh my God.
A phenomenal North American accent is what I meant. Yeah.
I knew what you meant. But yeah, you'd never know. Like, yeah, he's absolutely crushing. Well, I think he obviously, what really smart actors do is they don't choose just neutral American, which is, I don't remember exactly what state he chose, but he didn't choose just flat American. He didn't do the Benedict Cumberbatch as a Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it wasn't generic American. He did choose a regional dialect.
Yes, yeah. And when you choose a regional dialect, it's much easier to be like, I'm choosing very specific sounds. I'm doing a very specific place.
Yeah.
So you get less of a chance of having weird words. And he just, he does a phenomenal job. You would never know he was British. He's just a great actor. Crushes it, steals the scenes. Although I also did really, really like Cooper Hoffman in this.
He's very good. Mm-hmm. He is very good as well. What do you feel about like the relationship between the two of them? Because I do think they have chemistry and they pop and kind of work together. There is the flirtation kind of works, the friendship / romance. I buy into it, and I think they work really well together.
I buy into it. I'll tell you right now, if you're curious, Tumblr loves it. They're being shipped. They're trending. Last time I was on Tumblr, no, they were not just like looking for the tag. They were showing up in my feed organically. People like these guys. So no, it's just a great relationship, friendship. I think they really pop together. They're having great just deep actor conversations. I think they're really growing as people. The flirtation is there. The love is there, whether it's romantic or platonic. For interpretation, obviously, there's not a lot you can do when you have to walk at 3 kilometers an hour the entire time you know someone to make it clear whether it's romantic or not romantic.
Yeah. That is true. You could maybe get a smooch.
You could get a smooch.
You can smooch on the move. It's tricky, but you can smooch on the move. You're not getting more than a smooch on the move.
You risk falling over. Or you could hold hands.
Oh, you could get a handhold on the move. You
can hold hands on the move, and they don't do that. But I still think there is a deep love here.
They lean on each other while they sleepwalk.
It's much more queer-coded in the book, oddly enough, which is very it's from Ray's point of view, and he even and Pete even admits he likes him, and then Ray has a whole queer awakening during the walk. Apparently, I haven't read it, but that's what it says.
Right.
Which is easier when you're actually in a character's head in a book than if you're just watching and you're like, I think they like each other.
Yeah, from what I understand, it seems like the book is not even queer-coded as much as it is openly queer. And the film is the step down to queer-coded characters, perhaps, yeah.
But no, their chemistry pops. The relationship's great. I have a 20% problem with the relationship that gets fixed at the end. I will say I think a lot of this relationship of these two characters for the most part feels very or maybe it's just kind of Pete in general feels very magical black man kind of trope.
I agree with this.
Which I don't like for the most of this. It really is he literally carries Pete all the time. He saves him over and over again. Pete never really saves him back until the very end, which is kind of the only redeeming quality of this. But Pete also never gets tired. He never has to sleep. He's wise and gives advice. And I'm this is very unbalanced in a way that I don't like. And it's only saved by the fact that at the end, Ray sacrifice plays and then Pete's the one who lives. Yeah,
it is a level of perfect wisdom to the point that if the movie ended with finding out he was never there, it would also be it would actually feel kind of yeah, all right, that might as well happen, because it is a level of kind of unrealistic perfection.
Yeah, the fact that he was never sleeping and didn't seem to be getting tired ever, I was is he here?
Yeah.
Is he a ghost or something? Like other people are talking to him, I guess. So he's here. But I completely agree. I was like, if he turned into just like the end of Battlestar Galactica, Starbuck disappears kind of thing, I would have been like, yeah, I think that tracks for the character you built.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of sullies the relationship a bit for me. I would like if it was more reciprocal and less just like magical black man helping this white guy out.
His character does lack some of the depth of the other character. Yeah, absolutely.
Not even that he doesn't have depth. It's that he doesn't have. They don't have a reciprocal relationship in that way because he just.
Well, he doesn't
him,
have flaws. If you don't have flaws, you don't have depth. You know what I mean?
He talks about past flaws. He's like, I used to be a piece of shit.
He talks about past trauma.
I mean, he said he used to steal and cause fights, and he.
Oh, okay.
He's
Yeah.
the reason he got his
all
own
right.
scar on his face.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. It wasn't his fault. He was poor, but he said he caused a lot of fights and stolen stuff.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that. That's
So
fair.
yeah, so that to me that was very like I think you should leave. I used to be a piece of shit, and I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
But that was like to make Pete feel better. Or
It was still in service.
yes, it was
Ray.
still in
Was it-
service. It wasn't like. Sorry, it was to make Ray feel better. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't him opening up
Yes.
and being like, help me with my traumas.
I understand. I
So,
understand.
so that part of the relationship I didn't enjoy, but overall the actors kind of overcame it for the most part.
They overcame that lack of depth and still just kind of had a very charming relationship about two brothers in arms to a certain degree as well. And like there's a lot of like, is this a metaphor for war? Is this a metaphor for what is it? But that brothers in arms, brothers in trauma kind of a thing of like establishing a bond through deeply traumatic scenarios.
Yeah.
And they managed to carry that through performance. They're really cool and good.
They absolutely do. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
agree. I do like the metaphor here of war. I think that's very true. I think more so what I like is like the interpretation of it's like when teenagers sign up for war not knowing what it is.
Yeah.
And like the military just lets them.
Yeah, it'd be like letting you do what you don't fully understand as well. Well, that's where it gets a little bit murky for me, where and this is written. The book is written by a teenager, and this is an adaptation of that. And I saw some interviews with Stephen King. Was like some people thought it was a metaphor on Vietnam, and that was going on. I think he's just like maybe that there are like some of the meanings were just subconscious ruminations of a teenager at the time. So one thing that this movie has that I find. It's something that actually is becoming more common and prevalent, and I'm getting really frustrated by it. It's movies that are meaning adjacent, where it's like they have all of the Lego pieces of something that's deep and intellectual, but they never assemble it into anything that's actually insightful, where like there's stuff in this where it's like this exists in a world where there was a war, an unknown war against an unknown enemy, and that caused a lot of unknown traumas. And now that there's economic downturn and we're having unknown problems, and there is a tyrannical government, and tyrannical governments perform tyranny, which is enacted on people who feel oppressed by tyranny. And it's all very just like Wikipedia it is all just definitions of what the word tyranny is. And it never really has a strong perspective or a voice on anything. It feels very similar to, as I know you liked it a little bit better than me, but like Weapons as well, with be like Weapons is kind of, it has something to say about school shootings. And I'm like, does it? It has an image of a gun in it and kids are missing, but does it say anything about America and the current political state and school shootings and how we stop it? Civil War was another movie where the Alex Garland one, where I'm like, it's like America has fallen into a civil war because stuff. I'm like, okay, but so that's it's a whole genre of film of the like we're meaning adjacent.
I mean, I will mostly agree for this movie. I'm not sure Weapons was supposed to have a meaning. I liked Weapons a lot more than you because I just thought it was fun. I wasn't like, I got the meaning. I didn't take any meaning from Weapons. In this case, yes, I think it is a little disappointing because it is a movie made with such a flavor of the world today. of like, you know, people are really poor. We have a tyrannical government. We have people who are desperate for money and will do everything, anything. We have a lot of money into the military and no one else gets money. There's things you could be saying, and it's really not saying anything. It's not talking about like using entertainment as a way to divert the masses of what's going on, kind of Hunger Games style.
Is it saying is it saying that we should be critical of entertainment programs that placate the masses?
That's not what it's about in any way, shape, or form. And it's not saying, you know, it's not saying governments are bad. It's also got like weird like messages about like the arts are being oppressed and that's bad, but that's not the theme.
Yeah, is it trying to say that one person can stand up and make a change? Is it trying to say that money corrupts because they have a conversation about how previous winners, once they get money, are not good people anymore?
Is it a story about how violence is the answer for the underlings in the world under a tyrannical government? There's many themes you could take, but no clear, like, this is it.
They're all adjacent.
They're all just tiny little, like, footnotes at the end.
A bunch of themes that run parallel to this story, but never intersect with this story necessarily.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah, it's not a movie that's going to offend anybody.
I agree.
Yeah, despite all the violence and everything that happens, no one will watch this and be like, this is critical of the thing I like.
Yeah.
Or the views I take. It's not critical of anything.
Yeah, for a movie that is about a tyrannical government in America pushing children into incredibly violent, increasingly violent situations, I honestly think that every single American who has voted for any person and has any political opinion could neutrally safe watch this movie. And I think that that's kind of a problem.
Not a problem, but I would say more disappointing of like, this could really say something.
Yes. Yeah. It diminishes its value as art.
Okay, yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
I think the only person who not so much would have a problem with it, but I think my favorite comment about this movie I saw on the internet was, "Don't let Mr. Beast see the long walk."
Yeah.
He's already done a Squid Game.
Yeah.
This guy will long walk some people to death.
Yes. Yeah. He'll put people through the long house fire or whatever it is. He's already done it. You give that motherfucker a mode of transportation and a threat, and he'll turn it into a Stephen King novel. This man is out here making the Torment Nexus.
He makes the Torment Nexus.
Yeah.
He's gonna Running Man. He's gonna long walk.
He's a walking trash man.
Let him.
Don't let him do it.
Don't let Stephen King. Is this copywritten? Don't let Mr. Beast do the long walk, please.
Don't
do
let
not
him.
sell the rights to Mr. Beast to the long walk,
please. Well, that kind of brings me to one of the other negatives that I have about this movie, and I hate to do it. It's Mark Hamill.
I thought you were gonna, and he's not anything.
It's not anything.
It's not even bad, but I would say all the boys are so great, and they're so fully fleshed out, and they're real people, and like they're like, as I said, they're like acting. They're having these delicious meals of acting, and then Mark Hamill's just like, I'm kind of a jerk.
He's playing it flat, really flat. Like, he's playing stoic, but in a boring way where I'm like, I don't feel like he's made a decision as to who this guy is. And there are things there that's smart about that, where it's like the villain's not really important. And I mentioned that, like, I kind of like that about some of the world building, even though I want meaning to it, to be like, who is the major? Is he the highest? Is he also the president? And it's like, who gives a shit? And I like that the movie's just like, I don't know. He's a dude who's here. And he's bad. Don't worry about it. But from a performance perspective, Hamill's just playing it as a like, I'm man military. Man military has gun. And even at the end, when he has a gun pointed at him and he's like, whoa, why don't you put down that gun, kid? And I'm like, is this character cocky because he's seen people point guns at him before and he always comes out on top? Is this man actually being very cautious and analyzing this scenario as a threat? Is this man delusional and that's why he feels no fear? And there's no real decision. There's just a like, well, the man isn't emoting and I'm acting as a person who isn't emoting. And it's just not a strong one. And I love Mark Hamill, and I feel like he doesn't embody it.
I agree, and I also love Mark Hamill, and he doesn't embody it. And he really promoted this movie wildly hard. Like, he did tons of interviews. I follow him on Instagram. He did so much press. He wanted this movie, like, so bad. And it did fine. For its budget, it made quite a bit of money. So, like, it did well. But, yeah, just watching it, I was like, is this what you were really proud of? Like, you've done such better things. Like, you're the Joker. You can be evil.
Yeah.
Your animated Joker voice is one of the most evil things in the world. And this guy just doesn't feel evil, but he doesn't feel incompetent, but he doesn't feel smart. He just doesn't feel, he feels like a shadow of a man, but that's not on purpose.
Yeah.
Just like a cardboard cutout of the villain is here.
Yeah. He is a Plato's cave shadow projection of what evil is, and there's no real connection to it.
Yeah, and I also wasn't sure if he was even kind of filmed at the same time. The very last showdown between him and David Johnson, the rain and the lighting and the camera work is so different when it cuts to the 2 points of them that I was like, did Mark Hamill just do like a day or two? And the boys like did the movie?
Hamill was apparently on set whenever, or like reportedly was on set when he was needed on set. But I agree, there was something about the visual style of that actually felt reminiscent. That final showdown where it's just down to the final kid. It's down to Pete, and he's talking to the Major in the rain. Visually, it felt almost reminiscent of Sin City, where I'm like,
yes.
He felt like a silhouette the rain wasn't interacting with. Like it was like a cutout, but the visual elements weren't hitting him. And I couldn't tell if it was purposeful, but it was sending me into this uncanny comic book valley type of a thing.
Well, I was watching both of them, and I think neither of them were actually getting rained on. But David Johnson and I think the rain was like in a layer in front of them. But David Johnson was like way wetter because nothing was bouncing off his body. I was looking at both of them as the rain because I was very distracted by this. It's so much rain's coming down, and none of it's bouncing off their bodies. I think David Johnson was just wet. But I think they didn't really wet Mark Hamill at all.
And he's wearing like a rain poncho or whatever, but it's not beating in the right. There's just something uncanny about it.
Uncanny about this, the final showdown. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is tough because like I liked that ending. The ending that it provides of like I see it coming a mile away, literally 100 miles away. I see it coming.
Maybe 300.
It might have been about 300. The second that that Ray tells Pete that he's just like, well, my plan for my wish is that I'm going to wish for a gun and then I'm going to point it and kill that guy. And Pete's like, don't do that, man. You got to let it go. And I'm like, oh, Pete's going to get the gun and kill the guy. Pete's going to get the gun and kill the guy in memory of the thing, and he's not going to be able to let it go, and it's going to represent some kind of a cycle of violence. So I felt it coming a mile away, but it still is you can see something coming and still enjoy the writing of it, which is why I felt a little bit bad that I was like, the visuals of this ending doesn't match. I saw it coming, but I'm still in the moment, but it doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right. But here's why the ending wasn't predictable to me, because I think they seeded in two possible endings. Because why can't I remember which is Ray and which is Pete? Because Pete says his wish is going to be that two people can win the walk. And this movie is directed by the director of The Hunger Games. Now, I don't remember if you remember how The Hunger Games ends. There's only supposed to be one winner, and then both of them get to be the winner because they're both going to die at the same time.
That is true. That's a very good observation. I like that.
And I really thought, and they even bring it up later in the movie, I'm like, what if they just both stopped walking at the same time? And they bring that up later, and the guy who like is this Major's son is like, I don't know, the watches will tell them who stopped first. They know. And I was like, boo! Let them both be the winner. So I was like, yeah, okay. It's either going to be one of them shoots the Major, or maybe we get a Hunger Games ending and they both get to live and they get to be together and be happy.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like that was probably where it was going to go.
No, the movie didn't necessarily have, although it could have. I mean, The Hunger Games is also weirdly bleak. It's not as violent on screen necessarily as this one is.
I mean,
but
in a way, it's more violent because the kids have to kill each other. At least in this, the soldiers are killing you.
yeah, that's true. That's something.
Yeah.
That's something.
That's something, right?
You hope.
It's a difference.
Yeah. But
but
yeah, I could see both of them winning. Yeah.
Yeah, we both take a knee at the same time. So either they kill us both or we both get to be the winner. So yeah, I could see. So it wasn't as predictable to me because I was like, ooh, I wonder which ending we're gonna have.
Yeah.
And then maybe we get to both live and then we kill the Major together. Oh, I've changed the movie. This is my great change. We both live, we kill the Major together.
Interesting.
That wasn't going to be my change, so I have a different change for later. But
okay.
so these are my beautiful thoughts about what they were seeding in.
I see what you're saying now, and I could easily see that version as well. I predicted the one that did occur, but coin flip, it could have went over to the Hunger Games scenario.
I latched onto the one I wanted more. I was like, I don't want either of these boys to die.
You want to see them walk off into the sunset.
They've given me a little sliver of hope with this two winners idea.
Well, they kind of give the audience two things that they want, which is these two to peacefully go away together, but also the vengeance lust for the Major as well, of the like wanting the Major to get his comeuppance. So those are the two kind of driving forces that I think the audience is meant to feel, to want.
Probably. I never really feel like I want the Major to die.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, he's running it, but everyone here is working. They're all involved.
I think he's meant to be the embodiment of all of the problems in this world, but I agree, I also don't feel that. It does feel like he is just a guy who happens to be the one who pulled the trigger on Rey's dad, but it doesn't feel like he is the be-all, end-all embodiment of evil that they're all kind of talking him up to be.
Yeah, I think if someone's the be-all, end-all embodiment of all evil in America, they didn't personally kill your dad.
Yeah.
Like, Donald Trump didn't show up and kill your dad this week.
Yeah. It's a little murky.
It's a little murky, yeah. I'm like, he might be. Now, hear me out. Because Rey is the hometown guy. He might be the head of all evil in Maine. In the state of Maine.
In the state of what is book Maine and movie some state.
It doesn't. They don't seem to say Maine, but
it's Maine adjacent.
It's a Stephen King movie. It's Maine. But yes, I would believe he was the most evil guy in the home state we're in, which is where Rey's from. And this is why Mark Hamill was here to kill his dad.
He's the evilest guy in Manitoba.
They did film this in Canada.
I believe is where they filmed
this in Winnipeg.
So, hey.
I believe Mark Hamill's the evilest guy. And actually, I haven't been to Manitoba.
Yeah, I can't say that much about Manitoba.
I can't say really anything about Manitoba, like, confidently. I can say it's flat, which is why they filmed this movie there.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I also don't have a hit of Manitoba. I've never been there.
I don't have anything in the chamber.
Yeah, I got Alberta, Saskatchewan. I got most of the provinces.
Oh, you've been to Saskatchewan?
Been to Saskatchewan,
but I've been to Saskatchewan.
But I got
worldly man.
I got no Manitoba. I got all the provinces except Manitoba, so it's a tough one.
Shit.
Maybe it's like that over there. Maybe they're still walking over there in Manitoba.
Oh man, they must have a car.
They all share one.
They've got one car in Manitoba, right?
They all share one is one of the things that they do over there.
Now let me hit you with a genuine logistical, human body thing. I do think Rey and Pete were physically too big to be the winners.
Oh, interesting. That it should have been a skinnier winner.
Yeah, like they even say right off the top,
hang a hat on
we're
it.
two of the bigger guys here.
Yeah.
We probably actually won't make it. And I'm like, yeah, like Olsen, the Asian guy, I was like, he's probably actually got this in the chamber. He's eating oranges. He weighs nothing. I mean, you have to have a little bit. There's more of a endurance because you don't get to eat. Actually, you do get to eat.
You do get to eat.
So it's not even like a you need body fat kind of situation. They are feeding you. So I just don't think either of these two would be that late in the game.
Yeah, that is a tough one. I don't know what violently long distance walking looks like as a sport.
I know what speed walking looks like, and it's always way skinnier.
Yeah, that is true, but that's a very silly. Let's not talk about. Let's skip right over speed walking. Let's skip right over
the long walk with speed walking.
If we're talking about marathon running, then that does typically move toward a leaner, skinnier physique because that amount of weight over great distances does put an additional wear and tear on your body. But at the impact of running, I don't know what it is with walking because sprinters are typically thicker, more muscular, larger people. So in short distances is strong.
Yeah, Usain Bolt's not a small guy.
Yeah, so I'm like, if you do walking, really long walking, do you want muscle and fats to be broken down because maybe that weight doesn't necessarily have the same impact on your muscles and joints that it would if you were doing long distance running. I don't know. I don't know what the ideal physical makeup for violently long distance walking would be.
That is a really interesting point. Yeah, because even speed walking isn't like just walking.
Yeah.
You're walking in a weird way.
Yeah.
But there's no sport that's just walk as long as you can.
Yeah, like hiking, like backcountry hiking and type of thing, which is kind of like a mixed physical build.
Yeah, but I think if you're backcountry hiking, it's also more like hills, which is very much like there's only one hill this whole walk.
Yeah, and they talk about how like that's what gets half of them.
Yeah, this is more of like a cross-country ski.
Yeah, I don't know what the ideal physical makeup is.
You really changed my mind on this pretty quickly because I was like, I'm picturing, like, I guess it's not the same at all, but I'm picturing all the body types of the people who do well on Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not these two.
It's not these two.
No.
It's not these two, but again, that's a short-term thing.
It's a short-term thing.
No one's up there. Yeah, no one's
We
ninja
don't-
warring
For five days.
for 5 straight days.
No one's really doing a lot of things for
5 straight days. No. So yeah, it's hard to know.
That is hard to know. Yeah, I would say, if they weren't being fed, I'd say they were probably the best body types because they've got a lot of like more fat stored.
Yeah.
And they'd have more energy to use, but they're being fed the whole time.
They're being fed the whole time, but I don't know, just the ability to process that. I might lean towards, you don't want to go like extremely large. And like, they're not large guys.
they're not large
just
guys.
slightly larger than the rest of
most of the
these,
guys
like
there.
these, somewhat small and sometimes emaciated teens. But yeah, I think I would probably go for like a middle ground guy, like one of these two. Yeah.
Yeah, because the other guy is like also like a jacked like Drago from Rocky 3 kind of.
Yeah, Drago guy. Yeah, just lean muscle. Lean. Now, I might go lean muscle. Lean muscle might be a good call. If it weren't for that allergy bullshit, he was the allergy guy, right?
He said it was allergies, but
Yeah.
I think he was a cold at the end. I think he said it was actually like
He got sick.
he got sick.
He got sick. I think if he didn't get sick, he wins it.
Oh, if he didn't get sick, he wins it. Yeah, like and everyone knew it, and they were right. But he got sick. He got a sniffly nose, and he was like, "I'm a man, baby, about my cold. I just want to get shot in the head."
If you get a cold,
Men when they get sick,
when they get sick after walking for 4 days straight,
they just want to end it all.
sounds like us.
Dudes.
It's a classic dude move,
classic
trying to
dude.
impress their dads, but they've got a cold.
I'll impress them later.
That was another one that I saw coming a mile away, like hundreds of miles away as well, because it was the beginning of the movie when they're giving out the numbers. He doesn't say anything. The major doesn't say anything personalized to all the kids as they're given their dog tags. And that kid comes up and gets his dog tags and he goes, "Good luck, son." And then everyone's like, "How do you know everything about the thing?" And I'm like, "It's the major's son. We're going to reveal later in this movie it's the major's." So that was one where I'm like, This is a pretty big flag on this play, but all right, I'll go with you, movie, and act as though I haven't noticed this.
Well, I'm gonna say I actually gave the movie more credit than that, and I didn't automatically jump to like actual biological son because I thought maybe he had been like trained by the military as a plant to win. And like they were like, this guy's gonna win, and then he doesn't actually get any money. That's how we save the money on the long walk.
Oh, interesting.
That's
the
how we
money's
make
not
sure,
real.
Not even so much the money, but we make sure the wish is something reasonable.
Oh, okay.
We plant the winner. We like
Interesting.
train this guy, and he's like, so I thought he had actually been trained by the military and the major, not necessarily that he was his biological son,
Oh, okay.
but that he was like his like, this is my guy. I put money on him. I
Oh.
trained him, and we've been walking for years.
I can mess with that. I like that. That's an interesting take.
So that was kind of what I thought they were going with that of like, this is what I have to wish for when
it's
I
our
win.
ringer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is my ringer. This is what I have to wish for when we win. So we don't take down the government with the wish.
Yeah, even though they do have clear rules that
They
you cannot
clear
wish
rules.
any kind of a political change.
No, you can wish for an elephant.
You can wish for an
I
elephant.
think that's actually very cute.
which is so silly. Someone wished for, I guess if they're kids.
They're kids. I mean,
What Bart Simpson ass shit was that?
the conversation about the 10 naked women was actually very funny.
Yeah, that was good.
Olsen being like, oh, I didn't realize someone else would pay the 10 naked women. You kind of ruined it for me.
Ben Wang is so good at this character. He
so
is
good.
really fun as this like loudmouth Brooklyn kid. I don't know.
Yeah, him and David Johnson both having a real breakout like 1 or 2 years because he was the Karate Kid.
Yeah.
He's the new Karate Kid, and like I don't think that movie did well, but I think he was well received as the new kid.
I think it was I recall hearing similar. Yeah.
So like I think they're both maybe gonna pop pretty soon.
Yeah. He definitely pops in this one.
Pops in this one.
He's got some good heat.
He's got some good heat. And did you know the other main guy is like Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid?
No.
Yeah, Ray.
Huh.
Look at him, and then you're gonna be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cooper Hoffman. That'll do it.
Which explains the like acting of it all.
Yeah.
So it's not his first role, but it's like one of his bigger ones.
Interesting.
So yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid.
Huh.
I didn't really even know he was married or had a child at his passing.
Yeah, this is all news to me as well.
This is all news because I was reading one of his interviews where he was like, "Yeah, this is the trauma of a kid who lost his dad early, and I lost my dad early, and it's
Oh shit.
so
Okay.
there's a lot of layers going on in this guy's performance."
Wow. Okay. Kudos to him. Wow. Yeah, did not know that, but yeah, that's a tragic real life event to kind of bring over to your character and play it in that moment. Very interesting. I mean, that's a brave thing to do as well, to play a character that is so close to home then in that regard.
To play a character so close to home when it's like an actual like a meaty role. Like I said, like these are long takes where you're doing entire scenes at one time. So you really are like digging deep, those, and also scenes where like, oh my God, also if we're talking about performances, Judy Greer hardly gets anything to do in this and traumatizes me immediately with how good she is.
Brings the heat.
I like when she won't let him go and she's just crying. I'm like, this could easily be too much, but instead it's just a mom and she's so upset, rightfully so. And God, she's so good.
Not letting him go and then contrasting that with her telling him to go once he's already started and like she's visiting him further down the line. Oh my God.
Oh my God. So good. Like, yeah, she barely does anything here, but it's every second of it is phenomenal.
Yeah. Judy Greer, we've mentioned it before, just a treasure, a fucking treasure.
An underrated treasure.
An underappreciated treasure.
Elevates everything she does.
Elevates everything. And like 90 to 95% of it, yes, is comedy. Like the drama is a little bit rarer, but clearly like she has that just as easy and up her sleeve, just a top to bottom A to Z talent.
A to Z talent, and really representing as the only woman in this movie. Except, you know what's weird? A lot of those soldiers were ladies that were killing all the dudes. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, I don't know if I really caught that. No.
Yeah, not all of them, but at least half.
Huh.
And I was like, okay. So the long walk's only dudes, but the military allows women.
Interesting.
And they like to let the women kill the guys. I don't know if that's some kind of like anything being said there or a choice being made in that.
Interesting. Maybe there's a different women's bracket of the long walk.
That's next week.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't get as much televisation. They only get 30% of the pay of the winner of the male's long walk.
There's going to be like an Ocean's 8, but it's the women's long walk that they're going to do.
Well, but 2 years ago, Caitlin Clark won, and then ratings really went up.
Yeah.
Really improved for the women's long walk.
Good God.
Now the men can't even keep up.
Just women's long walk reboot. Yeah. That's very funny, that idea. Because I think I even read a thing that was like, in the book it's 100 and in the movie it's 50. I'm like, maybe there's another 50 ladies out there. That's what they did. They did gendered brackets.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's like a parallel road somewhere.
Wow.
I mean, not quite the same, but I will say, since we're on like ratings, I think the best marketing for this movie had one of the best marketing ploys I've ever seen, which is the people who got to go to the screening of the movie, but they had to walk on a treadmill, and if they went under 3 kilometers an hour, they had to leave the theater.
Theater treadmill was so good.
That's such a good marketing stunt. I would love to have been at theater treadmill. Episode of the Long Walk.
Yeah. Now theater treadmill, treadmill, you get the bonus of you can just set the speed and be good. Unless it's one of those treadmills, sometimes they're man-powered or whatever, so it might have been those. Yeah, because that's one of the tricky things about the walk itself is self-regulating. So, I do like when they form the four of them, the musketeers as they call each other, and they're trying to kind of get their pace in sync. Having that 4-person accountability, I'm like, I see immediately the tangible value of that as well, is that it's easier to regulate the pace if it's the 4 of you keeping in line versus solo. You actually don't notice your speed changes as much. You could easily kind of fall down or.
Oh, see, I wouldn't worry too much about that. Me personally, maybe, just because I know the cars are going exactly 3. So I think if you stay the same distance from the car ahead, you're fine.
Oh, I don't think the cars are.
Oh, I think the car's going exactly 3. That's how they kept the pace. They're the pace runner.
No, the cars are not the pace runners. They're the corral herders. Oh. So it's like if someone slows down, the cars stop in the back. If someone runs ahead because they're having an argument, the car speeds up ahead of them.
That is a good point.
Yeah. It's a corral. It's not a pacemaker.
I thought the car was the pacemaker.
No, they're not trying to help you at all.
No pacemakers?
They are
on the long walk?
They are not. There's no.
They fill your canteen so fast.
They fill your canteen, but you do have to shit moving. So
it's so weird that they're so good about the food and water.
They've chosen some real lines in this in the rule book for the long walk.
In the things you can have and can't have.
Here's your fresh canteen, sir.
Oh, immediately. Oh, I'll put my gun down and go get you a fresh canteen, sir.
Why, thank you for my canteen. I'm shitting myself currently.
Oh no, I'm going to be shot because I've gone below 3. Okay, well then yes, you're right about a pace with friends then. Because that moment where they all realize they've been going 3.4 and they're like, let's all just
let's cool it back to 3.1. Yeah.
Half a step. Yeah, that is cool. Okay, I thought the cars were the pacemakers. Then yes, friends who are doing the same pace as you would be helpful.
Yeah.
All right, cool. You got me. But yeah, much more useful, much easier on a treadmill.
But yeah, hit a button and go for a movie, have a good time. All right, well, let's go in for the close. Let's ask the final question of what would you change? So now that we have discussed everything we have discussed, what would you change about this if you could change anything? Before we do ask that final question, we will remind you, as we do every week, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Addict, or wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube, wherever it is. It helps us move up the charts. It helps us find new listeners. And it's just a very nice thing to do, and it's a free way to support the show.
It's just really nice. We read all the reviews, no matter where you leave them. We'll find them, and we'll read them, and we'll be like, thank you so much. That really helped us out.
It's very kind.
It's very kind.
So we appreciate that, and that's a free way to support the show. If you do want to support the show monetarily, you can also do that over on Patreon, which is a monthly subscription service. You can subscribe at whatever is in your budget and get really cool bonuses for doing so as well. At the $3 level, you can get these episodes early and ad-free. At the $10 level, you can get an extra bonus episode of this podcast every single month. It's exclusive for the Patreon members. And when you do that, you get immediate access to the full back catalog as well.
The full back catalog. In October, we did Marvel's Zombies. We've done, and all the episodes on the Patreon are just full episodes on things we've never covered on the regular podcast, and they're ad-free, and they're all real fun.
So check it all out. Lots of different options. And you can check it all out over at patreon.com/fromsuperheroes. That is patreon.com/fromsuperheroes. And now, let's ask the final question. Now that we have discussed everything we have discussed, what would you change about this? If you could change anything, Diana, what would you change?
My biggest change is I do still want some more world building. Like, the character building is so good. They're so fleshed out. But I do want just a little bit more of the world, because it almost feels like indie film in the way that we get so little right now. It's really just a road with some boys. I don't even need that much more. I really think some cool ideas would be like, it doesn't even feel like they're being televised. It feels like they're just being kind of tortured alone. I would even love if we got the POV of the cameras in the tanks. Like on some of the kills, like we cut away from a boy about to be shot, and it's actually like the footage version from the camera in the tank. And I don't need to see people in like the town watching the footage, but just knowing that it is being filmed and it is being televised out, I think would actually make make a big difference of feeling like this is a whole nationwide thing that is happening, that there is a big event going on. And I think the boys just should kind of talk about the event a bit more. Only like one of them knows a lot about the Long Walk, but it feels like everyone should know a lot about the Long Walk. Like they don't know about the hill coming up that half of them are going to die on. Only some of them remember the guy who picked an elephant. Like it feels like there should just be more knowledge of the event and talked about it a bit more. Like, do you think, the people in New York are watching? Do you think the whole world is watching? Like, it doesn't feel like a national event. It feels like a statewide event, to be totally honest, even though there's a person here from every state. So I just wanted to feel a little bigger. I wanted to feel more nationwide. So yeah, I think a couple camera shots, and then just like talking about the nationwide implications a bit more, I think would be interesting. And those are all the changes I really need. It's a great movie. And maybe the two of them just survive and kill the major. I don't know. Maybe they leave together like at the end of the Hunger Games. Well, we don't have to do it that way. Andrew, what would you change?
I like where your head's at. I'm on the fence about that. I would need to see that in action. That's one where I'm like, that's a very curious idea.
I'm a curious lady.
You're very curious, yeah, of seeing a couple POV shots. I agree on not seeing the rest of like the country watching it.
No, I don't need that.
That's something that a lot of movies do, and it wouldn't belong here. This is a close personal story about these people, and doing the whole like here's shots of the world reacting. It's very Hunger Games, and it's not this.
I think it was actually really like smart and brave to not show all that.
Yes.
I think it's like
it was restrained.
Yes, restrained is the word. So I don't want that, but I do want to feel like that's happening, like the boys know that that's happening.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. My change would be to just give it a little meaning, give it a little more meaning. Give it a little meaning and just kind of like tie it all together. I think the way to do that would be to kind of tie in the two wishes, because like this movie is about the relationship and the dichotomy between Ray and Pete. And Ray's idea for the wish is that, I lost someone I love and now I'm filled with rage. And my wish is to enact violence because I've lost someone I love. And Pete's whole wish is about like, what if we can expand love? What if we can expand it? And you got to keep in mind that there are other people out there who are still alive and who are innocent or having a relatively normal life, and you can't necessarily disrespect that. I would kind of like an ending where it is the two of them and they try for the let's stop together. And like Ray has had this progress and he's like, I wish for two people to be able to finish together. And they kind of agree to that. And then Ray gets killed. And then Pete wishes for the gun. And that idea of like Pete's optimism only works when you don't rob someone of the person that they love the most in this world. And then I think it has something closer to a statement of violence begets violence and a cycle of violence and a level of hope that one is able to maintain until the person that they love is taken from them. And that they can only then let go of that if they find someone else that they love. It would kind of then play into the romance between the two of them. That Ray is, looking to enact violence until he finds someone else to love and move towards. And Pete is trying to not enact violence until he has love removed from him. So I think an attempt to stop together and a trick the system and Ray switching over to my wish is two people can finish, and Pete then crossing over to my wish is for a gun, I think would be more of a ships in the night and not give this the most meaning in the world, but it would at least it would give it some meaning, and it would keep that meaning into a very dedicated character piece about these people and not about the large geopolitical scale of the world that we haven't investigated in. It's a good way, I think, to give this movie some meaning without getting up its own ass about exactly what this conflict and tyranny and economic downturn all represent and were caused by.
I like that. More of a character study of what violence does to people and what loss does to people, instead of this is what particular tyranny does, or the Vietnam War, or no theme at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a little cleaner. I can get behind that. Yeah. And I was very much behind the idea of the stop at the same time idea. So I like that. Yeah, I want to use that.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can sync
Let's see
our
if
watches.
we can stop. Let's see if we can try. Or not even thinking about that to be like, well, if we just stop at the same time and then just bang, we know by the millisecond who we decided. You don't get to decide. We get to decide. I think that's and this movie is.
That's a kind of defiance to the
And that is
tyranny as well.
Absolutely. And this movie it's a bleak ending, but that would also be like the kind of bleak that this movie is, I believe. Yeah.
I like it.
That's where I'm at.
Well, we've done it.
We've done it. That's it for this week on the podcast. Next week, we will be back and we will be talking about the first Running Man film, the 80s one with Schwarzenegger. So we'll be
Just as dark and serious as The Long Walk.
and gritty as the log walk. Also just on a random note, and shout out to our listeners. If you liked The Long Walk, it really reminded me of something kind of in between The Long Walk and a Hunger Games scenario. A book I read that I love and I recommend everyone. It's called Chain Gang All Stars, if I remember correctly, which is another one about a more Hunger Games like kind of battle to the death of prisoners in a near future America. That is very interestingly written, has some interesting format styles, and is really character driven and is really eerie because it's not as technologically futuristic as the Hunger Games, and it feels kind of set in an America that's like 4 years away. And I don't mean that as a criticism of America. I mean that as a compliment of the writing, to be like, it really shows the writing is just like, here's kind of how 3 steps, and this is now a televised murder event. But a really character-driven, surprisingly fun and also poignant book, Chain Gang All Stars. Check it out if you're into that type of stuff. But we will be back next week talking about Running Man. That was a tangent from myself. But if you want to hear more tangents like that from myself, you can find me online most places. I'm at Ivimey, Ivimey.
You can find me at Words of Diana. Very few tangents, but I'm around doing other stuff.
There she is. And you can find both of us most places at From Superheroes, and check out everything that we create over at FromSuperheroes.com. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.